ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Today we will be covering 3 Indra Suktas from Sage Bharadwaja. Suktam 18. Chandas Trishtuk. Om Tamustuhi Yo Abhibhudayoja. 18.1. O praisers, praise him indeed, whose might is all-surpassing in defeating the foes, who is uninjured and is much admired. With these words of praise, you make him grow, who is never conquered, is fierce to the wicked, who can bear the might of foes, and who is shower of happiness on human beings. The Rig may be addressed to the seer of the Sukta himself. He is asking his own soul to talk about Indra and his qualities. It only means that he will be giving a discourse on Indra in this Sukta. Sa Yudhamaha Sattva Khajakrit. 18.2. He, Indra, is a good warrior, is a mighty, heroic fighter in battles. He is enjoyer of good, nourishing food. He is a great lover of all good men. He roars loudly. He is of upright nature. He whirls up dust in battles, and he is overcomer of enemies single-handedly. He becomes the mover of thoughtful men. Indra, the universal manifested self, leads thoughtful men to the self, Atma. Other qualities mentioned here may not need any explanation. Tvam ha no tyadadamayayo. 18.3. O Indra, you subdue the wicked thieves and protect ordinary men for a righteous and respectable man. Is this not your heroic act? Please declare your action in all seasons. We shall also do likewise. No further explanation may be required on this. 18.4. Sadithite tuvijadasya manye. O mighty Indra, I concentrate my mind on your strength only. You are manifesting in infinite forms and is conqueror of evildoers. You are the destroyer of malevolent and are violent even towards the non-violent. Most of the valorous, might of the valorous, powerful Indra becomes most potent and great. Indra manifests as Jivatma in infinite, diverse, ever-changing forms. This is what emerges when one meditates on Indra. With this comment, meaning of the Rig should become clear. Tanna pratnam sakhyamastu yushme. 18.5. O Indra, let there be our ancient bond of friendship with you and also with persons who say like this. Like the sun smites the approaching, even firm-looking cloud with the assistance of winds, in the same manner, O destroyer of miseries, please uncover his citadel and open all doors to it. May Indra be a friend of a seeker of the self. This prayer is implied by this work. From olden times, manifested self Indra leads his friends to the Supreme Self. 18.6 Sahi Dhibhir Havyo Astyugra. He only becomes acceptable to all who makes all living creatures active in the great battle of day-to-day life with his wisdom and good deeds. So also in the matter of begetting children and grandchildren, that wielder of thunderbolt extends his activities exceedingly at the time of battles. Indra as Jivatma imparts consciousness and strength to all living creatures and extends this to their progeny as well. Samachmana Janima Manushanam. With his might he approaches or enters the bodies of human beings in the name of that immortal one. He comes to be closely connected to that one with renown. He with wealth, he with strength, and he with valor. He is the best among men. Jivatma and Paramatma carry similar names. Jivatma is closely associated with Paramatma. Former is an image of the latter reflected on the mirror of ignorance of truth. All qualities belong to Jivatma. Paramatma is qualityless. 18.8 Sano sayo na muhe na mithu. Whoever gets tired, who never gets tired, who never gives rise to fatal births, and who is possessor of well-known name, that Indra destroys a cloud which is an eater of others' properties, is roaring loudly, is all-pervasive, and dries up the crop, so that places of living are safe for people to move about freely and to sleep well without anxiety. Jivatma, Indra, ensures birth of a living being. Indra carries the well-known word Atma. The cloud is said to drink water which is Indra's property. Indra provides water to people or his living subjects, and also safe dwelling places to all. Udavada Tvakshasa Panyasacha. 18.9 O Indra, please ascend your chariot with an upward movement and with most wonderful energy smite down wicked foes in battle. In your right hand you hold the fast Vajra. O possessor of rich gifts, may you gladden the wise sages. Indra is being requested by the seer of the Sutta to appear before him with light of knowledge, Vajra, and drive away the imaginary enemies which are products of ignorance. This is the implied meaning of the Rak. 18.10 Agnirna Shushkam Vanamindraheti. O Indra, like the fire burning a dry forest, you who is frightening like a thunderbolt, please burn all Rakshasas or demonic thoughts. He with his profound lightning-like weapon smites down all enemies, shaking them, making thundering noise. He destroys all men of wicked conduct. The idea expressed in the previous work is further elaborated here. 18.11 Asahasram Padibhirindra. O possessor of much wealth, son of a mighty father Indra, invoked by many, you please come here by good paths with wealth and with many kinds of food and knowledge towards thousands of people. A doer of good and bad acts, being unenlightened, does not come to know his real nature, Indra's real nature. Indra manifests because of Atmi Pavamana Soma, or Purusha, the mighty father. Jivatma Indra comes to all living bodies. An ignorant man who thinks himself to be performer of actions and enjoyer of fruits of actions can never realize the self. This is the idea expressed here. Pra tuvidyumnasya savirasya. Greatness of this possessor of much wealth, who is most powerful and is subduer of the wicked, is unsurpassed by the space and earth. He is endowed with much wisdom and subduer of all enemies. He has no enemy, no one equal to him, and none has attained his status. All forms of matter come out of the manifested self Indra, which includes the space, earth, etc. There is nothing else like Indra, the manifested self. In the absolute sense, Indra or Jivatmas are unreal and non-different from the self. 18.13 Pradatte adya karanam kritam bhut. O Indra, it's a great thing that you have done. Namely, you give a person who is hospitable to his guests life, which in brightness is like a thunderbolt. You give life to many thousands of creatures. Moreover, you lead quick moving things on the earth. Indra reveals light of knowledge to a seeker of the self or a meditator on Indra. To ordinary living creatures, Indra imparts essence of life. Jivatma is the soul that activates a living body. Anu Tvahi Agne. Anutvahi Gne Adhadeva. O resplendent Indra, all shining beings rejoice in your company. You are the greatest sage among the sages. When invoked by a person afflicted by ignorance and who is desiring to gain spiritual knowledge, you do service to his body. Enlightened souls rejoice meditating on Indra. He helps an ignorant man to realize the self. He also gives him worldly possessions. Last trick in this sukta, 6.18.15. Anudyava Prithvi Datta Ojo. O doer of noble deeds, Indra, the space and earth and enlightened souls who are different from ordinary mortals attain your strength only. Whatever is not done but worth doing, please do that too. By sacrifices, you generate new eulogies. The space, earth, enlightened souls, etc., derive their existence from Indra and they end up in him. Enlightened souls know Indra to be non-different from the self. May Vedic hymns ever increase because of Indra. We go to the next Suktam now, Suk 19. Rishi Bharadwaja Barihaspatya Devada Indra Chandastrushtu Maha Indru Nrvada Charshani Pra 6.19.1. The great Indra or Jivatma, like a leader of men, pervades all men. Pervading both the space and earth, he is impetuous with power of endurance. He grows for generating strength for us. He is vast and extensive. He becomes doer of good deeds by his actions. In taking Indra to be universal Jivatma, he pervades all human bodies and all 5 forms of basic matter. Jivatma is known to be performer of actions and enjoyer of fruits of actions. Indrameva Trishana Sataye Dhat. My mind or intelligence upholds that Indra only. He grows quickly soon after his birth. He is great, is splendid like the sun, is undecaying, is always youthful, and is growing with invincible strength. Seer of the Sukta imagines in his mind Indra to be having these qualities. They are quite appropriate with respect to manifested self. 19.3. Prithu Karasna Bahula Gabhasti. O Indra, please extend towards us your wide and capacious arms, which are extensive and doers of many noble and good deeds for granting us food materials. Possessing self-control, you move around us in battles, protecting us like a herdsman guarding a herd of cattle. Otherwise, the Ruk is quite self-explanatory. 6.19.4. Tamva Indram Chatinamasya Shakairiha. In this knowledge sacrifice here, desiring knowledge or food, we invoke Indra, who is a giver of bliss with his powers. In the same way, his ancient praisers had done in earlier times. They were free from blame, were without reproach, and were uninjured. As such, this Ruk is self-explanatory. 19.5. Dhrutavrato Dhanada Somavartha. He, Indra, alone is the possessor of admirable wealth, is upholder of noble deeds, is giver of wealth, is advanced in the knowledge of Atmiya Soma essence, and is possessor of abundant food materials. In his riches, in him riches earned by righteous means are united like flowing rivers mingle in the ocean. Admirable wealth here implies self-knowledge. Indra, being manifested self, is the possessor of all manifested material wealth, gross as well as subtle. Indra is a knower of Soma, flowing essence of Atma, since he derives his strength from that. 19.6. Shavishtam ma avara shura shava. O great subduer of the wicked hero Indra, please grant us the mightiest might, strength, and the most potent force. O possessor of good horses or spiritual light rays, please bestow on us all splendid, vigorous powers of men to make us joyful. Horses here could mean rays of spiritual light which bestow existence, consciousness, and bliss on learned wise sages. 19.7. Yaste mada pritana shalha shala ma mrudha Indra. O Indra, please bring to us that non-violent rapturous joy which is victorious in battle and pervades good virtues, and by which, protected by you, we who are conquerors of nature may know and understand in the matter of our children and grandchildren. Rapturous joy implies bliss associated with birthless Brahman. Self-realized men are conquerors of death, which is an aspect of nature. They realize the falsity of births of sons and grandsons. 6.19.8. Ano bhara vrishanam shushmamendra. O Indra, bestow on us that heroic power by which man with the real wealth, which is pervading good virtues, is skilled and is exceedingly strong. Under your protection, in battles, may we distinguish between our kith and kin and our foes who do not belong to us. Real wealth is knowledge, oneness of the self. Kith and kin here means seekers, and foes stand for negators of the self. Ade shushmo vrishabha edu. O giver of great wealth Indra, may your heroic strength come from behind or west of us. Let it also come from above or north, also from below and from front, east. From every side may your shining glory, endowed with much happiness, come to usher us. No comment on this. 6.19.10. Nruvatta Indra Nrutamabhirudhi. Nrutamabhirudhi. O Indra, like a good leader of men, with good words that are worth hearing, we shall win your admirable wealth with the help of leaders of men. O King, we see both wells, physical and spiritual. Please give us that vast, great, permanent jewel. Admirable wealth is self-knowledge. permanent jewel is truth. No further clarification is necessary on this rug. 6.19.11 Marutvantam Rabham Vavardhanam. This is same as 3.47.5. Note 3.47.5 Janam Vajrinmahi. 19.12 O wielder of thunderbolt Indra, for those leaders of men among whom I am one, please smite down one who thinks himself to be great. We on the earth invoke you in the battle of heroes for wealth, for cattle, for pure water, and for air. Battle of heroes means battle between righteous and unrighteous forces within one's own mind. Ego is the one who thinks himself to be great. 13 Vayamta Ebhi Puruhuda Sakhyaye. O hero Indra, invoked by many, through your friendship, may we conquer both types of foes, internal and external. Winning over internal and external enemies, may we become superior to all, protected by you. We shall enjoy the great wealth. Here the great wealth is indeed the self and the bliss associated with Brahman. This is the last struck in the Sukta, and we go to the next Sukta, Suktam 20. From sage Bharadwaja only. Devada is Indra, Chandas, Srushtup, Virat. Some rigs in the Sukta contain implied meanings. So it requires greater concentration to understand the meanings properly. Dyaurna Ya Indrabhi. O son of mighty, 20.1, O son of a mighty father Indra, that wealth which overcomes the men of enemy army, which is spiritual light source, looking like the sun in the sky, please give us that wealth which feeds thousands of people, which is the best seen in the on the face of the earth, and is destroyer of foes like the clouds. Here the wealth implies essence of life. Since living beings are seen on the earth only, this light of consciousness is similar to sun's light. Divona tubhyam Divona tubhyamanvindra manvindra Divona tubhyamanvindra Satrasviryam. 20.2 O Indra of upright nature, along with all-pervading Vishnu, who is like the sun, you please smite down the enemy cloud which is enclosing the waters and covering the sky. Therefore, all-pervading spiritual wealth with truth is entrusted to you by enlightened souls. Enlightened souls identify Indra as the protector of the self, as he is considered as the manifested self. With this clarification, meaning of the Rig should be clear. Here Vishnu may be representing Paramatma. 20.3. Purvannojiyan tava sastaviyan Bhavasastaviyan. 20.3. Indra, who is the destroyer of those who are to be destroyed, is the mightiest of the mightiest, who has amassed much food and who is much admired. He becomes the lord of the sweet Atmiya Soma essence. He protects the man who is the destroyer of enemy citadels. By bestowing existence on matter and forms made of matter, Indra becomes the lord of the material universe. He makes use of Soma, flowing essence of Atma, for activating Jivatmas. Indra protects a man who has conquered all his internal enemies or evil thoughts. Shatairabadaran Panaya. Shatairabadran Panaya Indra Pra. O Indra, in the distribution of food and other wealth, you make misers by thousands run for a wise sage who abstains from committing sins with his 10 organs. By your weapons, you wipe out illusions of the powerful dryer of water for him and never his food. Indra drives away miserliness from a wise sage. 10 organs are 5 sense organs and 5 organs of action. Dryer of water could mean the sun, and illusion associated with him is that sun is only one form of gross energy. Indra wipes out this illusion for a sage, but keeps his body alive by not cutting off his food. 20.5. Maho Druho Avavishwayu Thai. Which mighty one slays all great enemies by throwing the weapon Vajra and supports the life of all good men, that Indra with his chariot made the space vast in the bestowing of the sun for throwing Vajra against the wicked foes. Indra with his spiritual light Vajra bestows existence on the space and the sun. This is the essence of the Rig. We go to the next Rig, 20.6. Pra Shenuna like a falcon, Indra cuts the head of a servant-like demon who does not give up the habit of taking intoxicant. He protects an industrious person who sleeps, completing his work. He fills the industrious man with wealth and with food. First part of the Rig may be referring to the cloud, physical or spiritual. Physically, the cloud is the drinker of water. Spiritually, the ignorant mind is puffed up by the ego, I-ness. Vipipror Ahimayasya Drulha 20.7. O wielder of Vajra, Indra, you shatter the strong fort of a deceitful, crooked person who has spread deception like a cloud with your might. O liberal donor, to a giver of oblations who is enhancer of uprightness, you give that unassailable wealth. Crooked person is ignorance dwelling Inus. Inus dwelling in ignorance. The strong fort is the causal body. With light of knowledge, Indra dispels ignorance and reveals truth to a sincere man. Savedasum Dashamayam Dashonim. Indra affording favorable assistance for enlightening a man who has tenfold illusions, who goes from place to place, who refrains from unrighteous acts with 10 organs, who is mighty and acceptor of good virtues, and who has a household, nourishing him like a mother nursing her children, and reveals eternal knowledge. Attachment to 10 organs of the body is a tenfold illusion. With this explanation, meaning of the look should become clear. Sa im sprudho vanate apradhito. Holding in his hands Vajra, spiritual energy, which destroys all foes, unattackable Indra only destroys his attackers. Like a charioteer sitting in the seat of his war chariot, he sits on the horse or race of spiritual light, which is harnessed by words. They carry the great Indra. First part of the Rig should be understandable from comments on the earlier Rigs. Indra Jivatma moves about on the spiritual rays, which are bestowers of existence and consciousness on living bodies. These rays are harnessed by the words of the wise sages only, as Jivatma has no real existence. 20.10. Sanema Tevasa Navya Indra. O Indra, with your protection, we shall attain new wealth or knowledge. Men praise him only in these knowledge sacrifices. By imparting knowledge to the attendants, he destroys 7 fortresses and home in the autumn season for a man possessing many weapons. 7 fortresses stands for walls of ignorance associated with 5 sense organs and the mind plus ego, since they have no existence independent of the self. Weapons are equipment for destroying one's internal foes. Indra helps a man having such weapons to cut off his attachment from the body. Tvam Vritha Indra Purvyo 20.11. O Indra, you are the most ancient. Serving those who are increasers of knowledge, you give a newly built house which is strong and firm and which is worth giving to a poet sage. He desires truth zealously, which is great and hence is to be protected. The new house is the one that is identified with abode of the self. That is permanent and worth giving. Poet sage may mean sage Bharadwaja himself. Tvam Dhunirindra Dhunimatir. This rook is the same as 1.174.9. Last rook in the sukta. Tvaha Tyadindra Vishwamajav. O Indra, your sound and legitimate enjoyment protect all in battle and enlighten a man even while sleeping. Being the destroyer of the wicked, you give happiness to an upholder of fuel as well as other food materials for the sacrifice, and who extracts essence of herbs for you and who invokes you with Atmiya Soma essence and with praises. Indra may be considered as the universal Jivatma. Lives of all living beings are therefore protected for Indra's enjoyment, or Indra's enjoyment protects them. He inspires self-knowledge in an ignorant man. Sleep stands for ignorance. Indra rewards his invokers appropriately. With this, we close today's session. Viramastavat.